Hi everyone, and thanks for the opportunity given to me to talk on this Criposium on intersectionality, borders on disability and queer. I'm going to explore the multiple ways which my disability intersects with me being queer. Disabilism creates a form of oppression and exclusion which needs to be addressed by education, policy, and practice. Understanding these intersectionalities will help us in addressing, in tackling our wider systematic rigidities and oppressive educational regimes. I know that most of us will be wondering, pondering, or some of us will be saying, what are the odds? How can someone be gay and how can someone at the same time be disabled? I know it baffled me as well. Initially I was like, how can I be both, But I am. Hello, I am. I'm both queer, I'm bisexual, and I'm disabled, physically challenged. I was genuinely baffled at this. Over the past few years, I really learned about these intersections. And the identities really connect with one another in ways I would not have expected. One, the first identity I'm going to talk about is, the first intersections I'm going to talk about is isolation, feeling excluded. I personally, I was born into a family. I was born into a family of fame, family of wealth, a political family. So having someone that is paralyzed, that is queer in an African community is odd, is a taboo, is not acceptable. It is something you should even hide. You should even say it out. But due to these identities I have, it's really isolated me. I felt so isolated from my family. I felt, because I was called a curse, I always felt like an alien. I always felt I shouldn't have been born. And this leads to exclusion. I was never open to people because I was scared. What will people think of me when I ask them those questions? What will be their response? So because of that, I kept it to myself. And because I kept it to myself, it strained me away from people, from the community, from my family, from my friends. I was forced to navigate the ways the society stigmatizes me and discriminates me because of my identities. When I came out as bisexual, 2012, it was really hard. It was really hard based on my race. When I came out as bisexual in 2012, no one else in my family was identified as such. I I'm the only one, and no one in my family has a disability, only me. If I could have asked my mom or my dad to like explain to me what is really happening to me, so like help me in coming to terms with what was happening to me, I would have been the happiest person on earth. But I didn't have their support. I no first hand information. No, this is the way to do things. This is the way you have to hold that. This is no. I had to learn along the way how to cope, how to adjust, how to stand against the stigma. I wish I had a community that supported me then. But I'm glad I went through it because it helped me to become an activist. I can use my experiences, my stories to help other people. Because no one understood how I felt or my experiences I had, this made me feel very lonely and isolated, excluded from the community, because I possess both identities. The next intersectionality I'm going to talk about is accessibility. Being disabled and being physically challenged really put a strain on my accessibilities. Most times, if there is a meeting in like a queer party, a queer meeting, and there is no access for me, I can't access the environment. Maybe the next intersectionality I'm going to talk about is accessibility. In an LGBT community, in an LGBT community, there's the fact that most times I don't feel included. Is it because of my religion, or is it because of my color, or I don't know, or is it because of class? I don't know, but some of us do not feel included. Most of us are not really included in the LGBT community because of sometimes class, race, religion, disability. I feel like that most times. I feel like that, and sometimes I attend meetings, or I'm in a place where there are LGBTs, and I should feel inclusive because that is my identity. I should feel it. But sometimes when I go there, I don't feel included. feel that I'm not being recognized. I'm not being recognized. And because of that, next time they're having a meeting, I was like, I'll just make an excuse not to go because I don't feel I belong. I don't feel I belong there because I'm not included. That does not take away my identity. No, it doesn't take away my identity at all. No, but it doesn't still include me in it, in that identity. So many people might be like, the next intersectionality I'm going to talk about is dating. These two identities, being queer and disabled, intersect for me is in the world of dating. As a queer woman, I try to, because I'm bisexual, I try to mingle between having a boyfriend and having a girlfriend. And my boyfriend is like, oh, I don't want you to have a girlfriend when you're with me. I just want you to be with me. It affects my identity. It really affects my identity because I am expected to be with him alone. Because apart from he's a Muslim, he understands me. He takes me the way I am. He understands. He takes me the way I am. That I'm bisexual. He understands. He takes that. He doesn't argue with that. But he just said, when you're with me, I don't want you to be with another woman. So I have to save my relationship, I have to obey that. These compel me to secretly chat with women online, on dating sites. Not only that, in order to press anyone in those spaces, I feel like I needed to use some words, some jargon, like your heart is sexy, all this, just to engage in a conversation. And sometimes it's not only is hard, but sometimes I could not even assess gender labels have a surprising impact on who pays attention to you on those dating sites and how other queer women perceive you. Most times I feel pressured to align with one of these labels. I felt there's a way I should look. Should I cut my hair? Should I dress like this? Should I color my hair purple, green to be so that people will believe that I'm bisexual? I feel like the limitations of my disability automatically categorize me into certain gender roles within the queer community. The next intersection The next intersectionality I'm going to talk about what is coming out and disclosing who I am. My mental health, as for my physical disability, is visible. You can see it. I'm on a wheelchair. Hi everyone. The next intersectionality I'm going to talk about is disclosing or coming out. My disability is visible to a stranger. My physical disability is visible to a stranger. My mental health disorder is not visible. This means that my queer sexuality involves some process of me coming out. I had to choose when and how people know about my disability and sexuality. Though they both often meet with different reactions. Interesting enough, tell me about it. Coming out was really hard for me, It took me time to come out and accept that I was bisexual. When I was in University of Hampton, I was the disabled rep for the university then, and I had the opportunity to work with the LGBT reps and committee on their programs like Pride and creating awareness on LGBT. But I didn't then come out to tell them. I didn't disclose my sexuality to them. I hid it from them because I was scared of my upbringing. I was scared of who is going to judge me, who is going to point fingers at me because of their opinions, their way they relate to sexuality. But I kept it within me. And 2012, I came out and disclosed to the National Union of Students that I'm bisexual. And to be sincere to you, it felt like it was heavy. It sounded heavy to me when I said it. It sounded really heavy. But I felt at ease at the moment after it being heavy on me. I felt at ease. But after some time, when I got home after the conference, National Union Student Conference, when I got back to my flat and I was like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? Did I just tell the whole wide world that I'm bisexual now? It wasn't an easy thing. It affected me. It really, really got me down. I had to talk to my mental health worker, my psychiatrist, and I said, see what's happening with me. He said, Kelechi, I'm glad you have come out, because now you've come out, it's going to help you in accepting who you are. I know that the disclosing it and coming out with it is not an easy thing because of the society we live in, because of the stigma attached to it and the prejudice, and because of people of color turning and looking at you like, blacks are not meant to be queer. It's only white that should be queer. That was a statement someone made to me Sunday. I was like, why are you queer? Black people are not meant to be queer. It's only white people that are queer. I was like, what? Yeah. But I took me time to come to terms, coming out was so fearing. It was scared. It was scary. Sorry, it was scary. And even coming out, telling people that I had mental health disorder took me time. Took me time before I disclosed it to friends, those that were in the same university. So most people that didn't know that I was suffering from mental health disorder. It took me time to tell them that I had mental health disorder because of the stigma attached to it. But it took me more time to disclose that I was a bisexual. You know? But now I am much more anxious about, coming out as someone that has bipolar, But, yeah. Another intersectionality I'm going to talk about is pride and acceptance. The society which we live in, it is not our fault, teaches us to hate both our queer sexualities and our disabilities. Why? Just because they are not seen as what is normal for bodies and minds. Life is harder with either of these identities simply because they are often marginalized and stigmatized against. But both identities are within our mind and our heart. Being a queer and disabled teaches me to accept myself as someone that is precious, that is special, because it is my identity. It is who I am. I cannot change it. It is who I am. And I've learned to advocate for myself, and over time, still working on it, learning how to love myself for who I am. And I'm trying to become involved I'm trying to get involved to address the stigmatization and oppression, and to learn how to have pride in myself. These identities I have, being a disabled and being a queer, have given me a lot of strength and courage. It has taught me to be an activist. They've caused me to face bullying. And therefore, it has taught me to grow and develop resilience. And it has helped me become extremely empathetic. Both of these identities make me redefine what support and love means. Both of these identities have instilled a passion for equity and social justice in my life. Being queer, being disabled, are aspects of myself. I would not give it up, never, because that's who I am, and have pushed me to become a better version of myself. And both of these identities make me who I am. And I'm happy who I am, and accepted who I am. Still in process, but talking about it, trying to create awareness, trying to reduce the stigmatization attached to being a queer and disabled has really pushed me a lot in lobbying. The next intersectionality I'm going to talk about is mental health. Mental health is one of the things that affects me. Me being queer and being disabled. Because the society has labeled me both as a disabled and as a queer, it really affects me because when I go out to mix with people, I feel like the way people relate to me or talk to me, treat me, because I'm disabled, because I'm queer. Based on accessibility, let's take an example of accessibility. I went somewhere and the place is not accessible. Yeah, I went to a place to buy a meal in Birmingham. I went to Birmingham and I was so hungry. I didn't know what I said, okay, let me just go somewhere and just get a decent meal to eat because I was so hungry. And I went and it was like, it's not accessible. The place like, we don't have accessible entrance for you. I was like, what? I really want to eat here. That's okay, unless you will order and we'll bring the order out to you and you take it and you to be a takeout. And we'll do a discount for you. I was really discouraged because it was really cold that day. It was during winter. It was really cold that day. And I didn't want to stay out to eat. I didn't know what to do. And that's the kind of thing, when it happens, it really affected me. It really affected me mentally. Like, oh gosh, what kind of thing is this? Why can't I have? I saw people going in that had legs that are able going in. Why can't I go in? Is it because I'm on a wheelchair? It affected me. It's like all this put strain on our mental health. It affects us. Just like being queer. When you're queer and you go to an environment that doesn't accept queer people, gay people, and when you get there, you don't feel included. You don't feel you're included in you don't feel inclusive there. And because you don't feel inclusive, you'll be like, God damn it, am I an alien here? It affects you because when next time you want to go there, you're like, no, I don't want to go there because if I go there, I'll get this treatment. Because if I get this treatment, it's affecting my mental health. Then I'll stay back. Because it reduces our movement. It reduces my actions, my activities. It strains, it disturbs my mental health. It goes straight to my mental health. And that is another way that these two relate together. And I don't know if I'm above my time, but I'm just going to leave you with these words. Self-acceptance is the first journey of healing. Self-acceptance is the first journey to healing. Whether you're queer, whether you're disabled, no matter what the society, the government try to portray disability and queer, we should teach ourselves to love ourselves and accept ourselves. It will help us in the healing process. Thank you for your time.